Day one of Donald Trump's hush money trial, but the only one being hushed was him. Because if he criticizes the case, the judge will throw him in jail. A Democrat prosecutor, Alvin Bragg, keeping the Republican nominee off the campaign trail for 6 weeks. That means Donald Trump isn't even allowed to attend his son Barron's high school graduation. If he tries to go, the judge will throw him in jail for that too.
As you know, my son is graduating from high school, and it looks like the judge will not let me go to the graduation of my son, who's worked very, very hard. He's a great student. He's very proud of the fact that he did so well, and was looking forward for years to have graduation with his mother and father there. And it looks like the judge isn't going to allow me to escape this scam. It's a scam trial. That I can't go to my son's graduation, or that I can't go to the United States Supreme Court, that I'm not in Georgia or Florida or North Carolina campaigning like I should be. It's perfect for the radical left Democrats. That's exactly what they want. This is about election interference. That's all it's about.
Piers Morgan actually had a good idea for once and said Trump should go to Barron's graduation anyway and make the judge arrest him while everyone's throwing their caps in the air. Who is this judge anyway? He's a Biden donor. And the Biden-Harris campaign and Adam Schiff paid his family members millions. Who's the prosecutor? Alvin Bragg, a lazy, Soros-funded DA who fights Trump instead of crime. Half the felony charges that come across his desk, he downgrades to misdemeanors, but not this one. He takes a bookkeeping misdemeanor and Frankensteins it into 34 federal felonies, a form of legal acrobatics that's never been seen in the history of American law. Bragg is arguing that Donald Trump should have paid Stormy Daniels with campaign funds and filed it with the FEC. If Donald Trump had used campaign money to pay off Stormy Daniels, he would have been indicted years ago. You can't spend campaign funds on personal matters. The campaign finance laws say politicians cannot use campaign money on personal expenditures like plastic surgery or buying new suits or golf club memberships. Even though those things technically may help the campaign, they're personal. And what's more personal than spending money to protect your marriage? He used his own money, his own lawyer, to handle a personal matter. Bill Clinton paid off Paula Jones while he was president. He didn't use campaign cash. If donors were allowed to pay off politicians' personal expenses for things that happened years before they ran for office, you think the system's corrupt now? Just wait. Oh, and who's the star witness? It's a convicted felon, admitted liar Michael Cohen. But the Democrats think this case is Marbury versus Madison.
How should we think about this moment in history?
Well, you know, Trump's people would like to trivialize and diminish the meaning of this trial, but in fact, it's perfectly emblematic of the others that are out there. They're all about electoral interference and manipulation. It's a very serious case, and I think the Trump people are going to be shocked how tuned in America is to what's going on here.
The media doesn't even read their own polls. A New York Times poll says 3/4 of Americans aren't even paying attention to these show trials. The people who are paying attention are the ones watching the mainstream media, and those anchors won't even tell you the case has been brought by a Democrat and overseen by a Democrat donor judge whose family's being paid by Democrats. You know this because you watch Fox. You read. You do your own research. But the media thinks you're just a poor, dumb hillbilly, and you're just jealous of the smart Democrat lawyers who control the establishment.
The socioeconomic disparities are a lot, and class resentment is a lot, and anti-intellectualism and elitism is what is driving many of these anti-establishment, which are Trump voters. I don't know if you've ever been jealous of what someone else has or resentful. It is such a corroding and bitter, almost bile feeling.
Katie's saying, if you think these trials are a scam, you're just not smart enough to understand. Actually, we don't think they're smart at all. We think emptying jails, opening borders, and printing a gazillion dollars is stupid. If anyone's jealous, the media is jealous of Trump, his wealth, his status, the way he captivates a crowd like they can't. Right, Katie? His drive, his connection to voters, his confidence. And let's face it, his record's just better than Biden's.
They saw Trump killing it with the crowd. Then you come to a panel of 6 people who all just do nothing but dump on him and call him a liar. And America goes, oh, didn't you just see that we like him?
He's killing it. He's not a stand-up comedian.
No, but popularity doesn't matter. The people loved him and what he was saying. Not to defend Trump, but to defend the people who still vote for him, because what they see on the other side to them is even more dangerous, because it's very closer to home. My kid is coming home from school and he thinks he's a racist. He's 5. What have you been telling him? Those kind of things are what they say, that's why I'm voting for Trump.
Here's what the media doesn't understand. They can talk about democracy all day, but it doesn't stick because people know when they're being lied to. We had more cash 4 years ago. We had less crime. It's that simple. Americans are willing to put up with Trump's drama in exchange for peace and prosperity. That doesn't make you a cult member. It means you just have a good memory. We know the trials are rigged. That's not going to stop us from getting rid of the one who's rigging them.
Will your support for Donald Trump continue even if he's convicted in Manhattan?
Yeah, this trial is not going to have major political ramifications that a lot of people, I think it may have.
How you can say we should have him back in the Oval Office?
It's not, because for me, it's not about him as much as it is having a Republican administration. We're going to have a pro-business economy. We're not going to have a cancel culture that has really infiltrated all across America. It's not about Trump with me.
That doesn't make any sense to me, Governor. I'm sorry. You're saying it's not about Trump. You're saying he would be the president.
What you're telling me is you don't understand why 51% of this country is supporting Donald Trump. It's not about just supporting Trump. It's getting rid of what we have today.
The issue is the majority of us don't get to decide the outcome of this case. 12 men and women from Manhattan do, a place where 90% voted against Trump. Jury selection now underway, and Trump's lawyers spent the day trying to spot sympathizers. Trump sizing up potential jurors personally. Today he, quote, smirked at them and made one woman giggle, which raised eyebrows, according to court reporters. Trump's gazing into the eyes of jurors and trying to catch a vibe. And why pay a jury consultant? Trump will just eyeball him and know who wants a dictator on day one. Remember what happened with OJ. Those jurors went in there to send a message. We know Trump can't get a fair trial. So how do we know who's who on the jury?